Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. My name is Kim, and I'm not sure what I'm doing today. I'm doing something. Channel messages. That's not true. I do know what I'm doing. But how are you? It is Thursday, and I haven't posted a video in a while because I have been dealing with some stuff that I had to take care of regarding my physical body, and I had a procedure done, and I'm okay. I am recovering, and I'm here today. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're feeling well. We had a great election night. We had a lot of Democrats flip seats. We had a lot of Democrats win. Shout out to my home state of New Jersey for doing what needs to be done. Okay, I did say that Mikey Sherrill would win. Shirelli? I always pronounce her name wrong. I did say she would win. I did see her winning. I did see Mamdani winning. I did say that. So shout out to New York and New Jersey, part of the tri-state area, always doing what needs to be done for the most part. New Jersey, this will be our second Democrat in a row. Thank goodness. Even locally, my town locally did pretty well in terms of evening things out. So, shout out to bipartisanship, So things are looking up despite things being down, despite what we still have to contend with. This was a bright spot that I think a lot of people needed. You know what's interesting, I don't know if it's interesting, but what's interesting is that we have this turnout, such a huge turnout, and this sort of blue, what I want to say is, first of all, before I get into anything, everything I say here is for entertainment purposes only. Everything I say here is for informational purposes only. Everything I say here is alleged, okay? Even in the comments. But anyway, looking at this past election night, election day, that man cheated. And I said a couple of weeks ago, I've been watching people's videos and stuff, and when they talk about the election, I'm like, he didn't win though, That's the hard part of it, when I'm like, energetically, what they're saying is wrong because the energy doesn't match up with what the reality is. You know what I mean? He didn't win this election legally. He didn't win all the swing states. He did not win. And for me, logic stands looking at this past election night. People didn't just suddenly wake up and was like, oh, they remember him the first time and he didn't win this time. He did not. And that this, what we saw, is just proof of that. There's a lot of things happening energetically. I've been talking about, we're being pushed up. We're at a turning point. There's just a lot happening. And I want to explore some of that today. It might be a mixture, it might be a little bit of a Q&A. It might be a little bit of a channel messages, pulling some cards sort of thing. I'm playing it by ear. I know in my energy I want to talk about this. I did say this month will be a light month. Please go check out my monthly read for the month of November. It's pretty good. I think it's good. You guys seem to like it. A lot of people are watching it, so thank you for that. But there's a lot happening energetically where things are shifting. Things have been shifting, but it's more noticeable, I think, on the we see it, we feel it. So all these people voted with a resounding no. We do not want this sort of autocracy, this fake dictatorship, this attempt at trying to ruin. And I think that message was made last November, but but we see, we see what happened. And I saw something on I was looking through threads. I'm not sure how I got into threads. It just appeared one day on my Instagram, but I was looking at it, and this man was speaking about election day. And he was just saying we need to just say what it is, that this man did not win this election. We need to get to that point. And I know it's controversial being an election denier, but I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Check out Election Truth Alliance. There's so much on their YouTube channel. There's so much information with the auditing that they're doing with the state of Pennsylvania and, other swing states, the suspiciousness of the information that's being collected. It just clearly shows. And so it's very frustrating in terms of people just don't want to say it. And I get it, but just say it. I know they're thinking it. Some people have seemed to have gotten amnesia, where all of this, the turnout for Kamala and the support and the money and the backing, and this, when you look at the man, when he had his little gatherings and the turnout the morale was very low in the Republicans. And and they seem to have just forgotten. Some people just have dismissed Kamala. I just don't like it, because her energy is still in this space. And so that's why I still use her in my thumbnails, because we can't forget her, because she was robbed. Anyway, that's the end of my rant, guys. But we have a lot to get through. We have a lot of work to do. I want to explore the shift in what people want and what they don't want any longer, in terms of the political environment. People are voting younger. There's so many young Democrats who won their elections. Oh, there was a race in Mississippi for mayor, and this man has been the mayor for over a decade now in Mississippi, a small town. I'm assuming it's a small town. And this young Democrat, he won barely. This man, the Republican. But anyway, that's the trend. The trend that's that's coming around. People want younger. People want something different. We're tired of what is being offered to us, because it's not helping us. It's harming us more than helping. And I think that is the message. And I think that's the message the Democrats need to embrace. The way they did Mamdani was so messed up. No, they didn't support this guy. And he still won. The way they did him was so messed up. And it's a clear, it's clear to me where their heads are in terms of real change and really letting go and letting other people lead. Either they're going to be forced to do it, to let go, because that's what's happening. They're going to be forced. So this is what I want to explore. I want to explore this turning point, this energy I see. I want to explore the outcome in terms of, people ask me about the midterms. I feel like it's too early. I could look. I'll do that. I'll look at that. Because like I've always said, there's so many different things happening that relates to one big path, but there are many different what's the word? There are many different situations, energies culminating, okay? That leads to one big path, if that makes sense. That's how I see it. That's how I feel it. So I want to explore the outcomes. When I did channeling, I would talk a lot about, or rather the people I channeled, and I asked questions regarding parties and how it would change, how certain parties would break off, and because we just can't continue on this way. We can't continue with this like polite sort of, this man, he does not care about any rules. You have to fight him in a way that shows that you're not afraid of him. Donald Trump, I mean. It's the only way. And he knows when people aren't afraid of him. Anyway. Alright, so like I said, this will be a mixture. I'm not quite sure. Sometimes when I don't know what I'm doing, really, it turns out pretty good. Because I'm sort of just following my intuition. But I want to ask to connect, and I feel like there are messages for me. I've been so when you have to get a procedure done, you at least from me, that's like frozen in time because you're so focused on being okay. You're so focused on like the anxiety of it, but that's what I've been sort of focused on. But so I haven't been, anyway, that's not even important. I'm just going off script. But I want to connect and talk about this trend, this this outcome, this thing, this change that we're seeing. It's more than the Obama feeling. It's more than, it's like real change. It feels like, at least the beginning of it, and it's like, when you have someone like Donald Trump come in, and the destruction that he and his administration is placing on the American government, it was like, it has to be, for true real change, we can't continue on with the same sort of players. It has to be really I don't want to use the word asleep, but We can't be asleep anymore. We're not. We're not. And I think that's surprising a lot of people and they don't know what to do. Certain Democrats, they don't know what to do. As opposed to just embracing real change, they're still trying to resist it. And so what I want to explore is that. Will they continue to resist it? Will this change? Because the thing about change, like I saw in the cards, judgment has been coming up a lot when it comes to the political environment that we're dealing with currently. Judgment is change, part of judgment, and because we need change. Even I'm going through a change, for the better. But sometimes you know something has to happen that makes you pay attention, and I think that is where we are now. But again, on the flip side, he cheated. Right? So let's put that there. But then you have complacency. Is, you know, what a lot of us fall into. And so with complacency, we're just used to regular people having the same power, you know, fighting against it a little, but just like, all right, well, this is what we got, you know, as opposed to having you know, being in a high risk situation and being forced to look at the problem and saying like, okay, we can't continue this way. People are terrorized, people are traumatized, you know. To look at our system, your system, and really force change. For real. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to connect. Thank you guys for listening to my ramblings. But anyway, what time is it? Okay. So my first question, the bells are tolling. What is this turning point? So this is, from what I understand, we have many turning points. There's many things happening. So where are we in terms of real change, in terms of progress? Ears are ringing. They're saying, first of all, saying there's a message coming that will be even louder than this, meaning this election day, this past election day. What will be the message? That the people are not weak. The people are not stupid. The message is clear. They have no control, meaning the Republicans. They are in a holding pattern. They don't know which way to go. Everything is falling apart. I remember saying long time ago, and I first of all, when I pulled, before I get back to what I wanted to say, but when I pulled the first for the Democrats for this past upload I did about the month and regarding their elections and the fear I saw and felt in it, which was interesting. They showed me the emotional part of it, the energy, the fear, the low morale, like the anxiety of whether or not they will progress because of what happened. They just knew that Kamala would be president, but again, he cheated, and I'm gonna talk about that because that is that weighs in my mind. That's not forgotten. That's not done. But anyway, what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. Bear with me. Oh yes, so the Republicans, now that I'm looking back, I look back at the cards that I pulled, and it's in their energy. They didn't get negative cards, but it's more. It was, when I look back at it, it's more of an arrogance, thinking they have it in the bag. They didn't expect all that happened to happen. They didn't expect that, and so now they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. But anyway, I want to will the Democrats begin to shift? Because what they're doing now, they put Bernie Sanders and AOC to the forefront, but they don't. I have my own anyway, but they don't. Democratic socialism, they don't subscribe to. In reality, these top, quote unquote, top Democrats who is at the top of, who holds the power, who sways, but it feels like that they don't have, they have to release this sort of power to the people for real, like seriously. Yes, they need leadership, but is that going to happen? He's saying, yes, there'll be a new wave of leaders. And he's just said, it feels like more than one person. First of all, they're very loud because I haven't been. But they're saying, I'm hearing, Mamdani will go very far, actually. He's going to go extremely far. He's going to be very successful. And he may end up in the Senate in the next few years. He's going to be very impressive. His political career will go really, really far, which is nice to know. A new wave of leaders. Democrats will have to follow the trend. They themselves are surprised by him winning, by him getting this far. You show me in the cards. Yeah, Five of Swords. Five of Swords. Wheel of Fortune. It's more than just, I think people are, and that's they are becoming more far left. And it's more than just that. That just it's not the truth. I think people are just tired of taking what's been given to them, which is not enough. If that makes sense, you know? The Hermit. Yeah, look, crossroads. Emperor on the bottom. King of Wands. The Hangman. Ace of Cups. Four of Wands. The Lovers. Yeah. 3 major cards. About choice. About the wheel turning. Okay. You know. They haven't had the best of luck. 5 of Swords is sort of like inner conflict. You know, you're critical of yourself. That's what I saw in their energy. A lot of like, you know, I got so many text messages and phone calls from Democratic volunteers, and this sort of desperation in their voice, like, who did you vote for? You know, and because of what happened. And then I just want to be like, he cheated. That's not what's in the, what we see is not what's in the energy. Yes, you know, you have MAGA, you have white supremacy. That is a huge problem, and that's why we're here. That's the deeper, more pervasive issue of America. But there are more people who are not like that than there are who are like that. But then there's also more racist people. It's just so much that has to. But Democrats, one more is telling me. The world, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 8 of Wands, progress, moving forward. And then the 9 of Swords, this worry in their energy. 6 of Cups, learning lessons from the past. Knight of Wands, the Devil, death, okay. Yeah, I mean, they definitely feel good. There's a relief here, okay. You know, the 4 of Wands is balance, celebration. The Lovers is they have a choice now. Do you have the World here? The World is new cycles coming, like a new wave of young leaders. That's what we need. And the message that I hear is it's going to happen whether they like it or not. Because we are the ones who decide that, and they have to follow the trend. They have to, or they'll continue to fail. So even if he cheated, right? Donald Trump did not win this election. Was not a free and fair election, allegedly. But there's still issues. You know what I mean? There's still issues that need to change. There's still difficulties that we have within the process of democracy that has to change. There's people holding on to power that has to let go. Like Mitch McConnell was anyway. But what I'm saying is, it just has to, everything has to change. And through the worst of things, like the most darkest, difficult situations, something comes from the other side of it. And real change. You have the Hermit here. Means you're at a crossroads about your purpose. So they have to the Democrat Democratic Party, while they're good at governing and most of their representatives care about their constituents, they take care of them in the states that they represent for the most part. It's flawed, yes, it's not perfect. No society is perfect, but they know what they're doing. They do. It's a reality. But they have to repurpose themselves for real this time. And that's what's happening. With the Hermit, you have the Wheel of Fortune here. They're good luck. They feel like the wheel is turning in their favor. Then you have the Hermit here, and the Hermit makes you sort of think and explore. The Hangman is here too in this deck on the top, on the bottom. You have to shift your perspective. You have to think about where you're going now. What direction do you go in, left or right? So that's what they have to think about, because the Lovers is here. These major cards here. The Lovers is here, and it's about, you have a choice. The Lovers is about choice, and it's usually two choices. Okay. Do you continue on? Do they continue on the same sort of establishment, or do they really listen to everyone? You know, like I'll be 41. I'm a quote unquote elder millennial. Like my niece, the younger generation now, they're starting to vote. Even though people say on the flip side, like, they've become more conservative, I don't believe that. I'm talking overall. I don't believe that. But I'm not saying it's not happening. Yes, it is, but they're like, it's rampant. And sure, but overall, I don't feel that in the energy. But anyway, they have a choice, Democrats, to really, the world is about ending old cycles and starting new cycles. So this is where they are. They can't just keep using AOC as a voice. I mean, granted, they have to really truly let these people really, be serious and following the change and the trends that's coming to their party. Okay. So they are in a good space. They are in a good space, the Democrats. They are. They have, what's the word? Not realigned, but righted themselves. Okay. And there's a lot of, though there's some anxiety with the Nine of Swords here. There's some worry, because the worry is this decision they have to make. And it's about change. It's about really embracing change and really listening to what the people want. We don't want Cuomos. We don't want old white men with Rolexes on their wrists trying to tell us how to live our lives when they have no idea what rent is or how you have to choose between eating and paying rent or paying for childcare. Like, they have no idea. They don't care to know. So people are tired of that. People have been tired, but I think now it's much different. It's much different because that was like a surfacey sort of, this is what it is. We have these people that we have to vote in but now you have a younger, more compassionate, more empathetic, more understanding leaders coming that are very intelligent, and they say they're inexperienced, but you're inexperienced. You don't know what the average person goes through. You have multiple homes. You have millions of dollars. And so they can't hide that anymore. And that, you know, but they will change. They will be forced to, because there's multiple things. All the bad stuff that this administration is doing is exposing more and more the flaws in our system, and it's exposing more and more of what we need as a society and who we want to lead us into the future. All the stuff, the whitewashing and the distractions that Donald Trump is doing, this hostage situation, I've been calling it, holding funds and threatening to not take care of your citizens, and just this is exposing a real big problem for him, and he knows that. He thinks he's like negotiating, and he's harming people, and people are seeing it. Will the Senate Democrats give in? No, it's saying no. Let's see where they are energetically. The Emperor. It's saying no. I heard no 3 times. No. I'm hearing they know what's at stake, especially after this. 2 of Pentacles. Where are they? Show me where they are energetically. 2 of Pentacles. So trying to prioritize. What are they trying to prioritize? Queen of Swords always is in their energy. Is that the King there too? Temperance? Something about balance. The 2s. The Star. 9 of Pentacles. 10 of Cups. 6 of Swords. No. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. They're happy about something, I could tell you, in the energy. There's a lot of positivity here in the Senate Democrats energy. I see they're cutting flights at 40 major airports. That's something I wanted to say too about flying. Don't fly. Not because of danger, but people aren't getting paid. So y'all should, it's something might be avoidable for some of y'all, but Page of Swords. No, they're not giving in. Ace of Swords. Nope. 2 of Cups. 6 of Wands. They're gonna and the Sun. They're not giving in. They have the upper hand. They know they do, and I don't know quite how do they have the upper hand. I heard a bunch of ramblings. It was a lot of words, but Trump is cutting off his nose despite his face. He's so arrogant. He doesn't understand what he's dealing with. He knows what he's doing. He's really upset about the loss. And they couldn't cheat. It was a one-time thing, like I said, that last time, that election. They can't do it again. One-time thing. But look at this. Two of wands. Two of pentacles. The star. A major card. 9 of pentacles. 10 of cups. 6 of swords. Transition. Page of swords. 6 of wands. 2 of cups. Ace of swords and the sun. The more he holds the progress, I know, people are like, well, they want the government to shut down Project 2025. Sure, that's still part of it, but this is causing more damage. They don't have foresight, these people, is what I'm saying. They don't have foresight. They don't see beyond themselves and their desires. They don't see that there's actually a bunch of people on the other side that also decides things. They forget that. And by the other people, I mean us. So this is the Senate Democrats' energy here. This is victory. This is clarity. This is abundance. This is balance. This is getting what you want. This energy here. Moving from choppy waters to calm. They're watching Trump. What's the word? What is that word I'm hearing? I'm saying disintegrate, but I'm also hearing like decimate his character. It's like he doesn't like that he can't control what is happening. But he does. You could open up the government. You could pay your peoples. This is victory in their energy. They feel successful, even though, they are just looking at this, holding the line, and sort of just watching him fail. Okay? Let's look at the Republicans. How long have I been? Okay. 43 minutes. 43. Okay, 43 minutes. All right. What's happening with the Republicans? I heard they have a choice also, sink or swim. Do I stay with this? Okay. Sink or swim is their choice, the Republicans. Show me the Senate Republicans. You're not going to get rid of the filibuster. No. Someone asked me that. The answer is unequivocally, absolutely not. Show me their energy. Senate Republicans currently, please. 9 of Wands, okay. Perseverance. Sure. It's an uphill battle. They are battling, and it's tough. It's hard for them. But they're pushing. Show me them. Okay. King of Swords on the bottom for them. Oh. King of Swords, Queen of Wands. Is this in reverse? It's upright. Six of Pentacles. Nine of Cups in reverse. Not good. Nine of Wands. Okay, so they're it's a battle. It's tough for them. Okay. Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is like give and take. But the Nine of Cups in reverse. Alright, let me see the other cards before I. The Moon. Uncertainty. Ten of Pentacles. Perhaps uncertainty about their legacy. Okay, let's see what the other. Death. Okay. They got major cards too. The Fool. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay. Nine of Swords. Complicated. The World. Okay. Four of Cups. All right, so yeah. We have transformation. We have so the Democrats were prioritizing their agenda and knowing what they are doing in terms of continuing to make do. I'm keep seeing the Nine of Pentacles in my head, even though it's a minor card, but they know they're close to something. Is my point. And you have this Four of Cups here, and it's deep contemplation, but it's also could be apathy. And it's underneath the Nine of Cups in reverse and the Moon. There's a lot of uncertainty surrounding them. They don't quite know. They don't quite know. It feels like they don't know how to move forward. Okay, can you show me that in the cards, please? Oh, yeah. So look. It just flipped right the hell over. Excuse me. The Tower. The Tower is always there. One, two, 3, 4, 5. 5 major cards. The Tower is always there for them, waiting. This Nine of Wands and the Six of Pentacles is the story together, it feels like. It feels like they're looking for assistance. But they're in the dark about a lot of stuff. They're not being, they're the Senate. They know what their job, I guess. The Senate Republicans know what their job is, but it there's these major cards here. You have death, letting go of, they have to let go of this. The Fool is not a bad card. But it comes up a lot for them. The Fool does represent new beginnings and things paving the way, but death is here. They have to let go of a lot of things that are no longer helping them. Because you have the Nine of Cups in reverse. There's no full cups here for you to feel good or satisfied. And the Four of Cups is there, and the Tower is there, and the Moon is there. The Nine of Swords, it's like their worst nightmare, quite honestly. And I'm not just saying that because they are Republicans, okay? Because what I do see is that they do see the harm that the shutdown is causing. That is their responsibility. That's why the Nine of Swords is there. That's why the Four of Cups is there. That's why the Nine of Cups is in reverse. They do have an opportunity with the world here. They do. Like, that's what I kind of see. Like, the messages they have to maybe let the Tower happen. You know? They could actually care for their constituents and do what's right. Some of them are saying no to Donald Trump already. They could actually govern the right way. They have no leader. They have no guidance. That's why the Tower is there. But it has to be there for them. They're in the dark with the Moon. On the Tower there, like, come on. The Fool is not the time to show up in this sort of situation. It's not the time. And Fool is about new beginnings. It's the first card in the deck, but it's not in this situation. The blind leading the blind. They're basically with the Fool. And the dog is like, hey, you're about to jump off the cliff. You know, taking a leap of faith, but not in this situation. They don't have any guidance. So it doesn't look good for them. The Tower's there, guys, you know. Well, this is what y'all wanted, right? That's what y'all... Will the government open up this month? That was my heater, if you guys are wondering what that sound was. Will the government open up this month? I'm hearing no. I'm hearing no. That's crazy. Okay, let's see. Will the government open up this month? Will the government open? Well, it's saying no. Okay. Okay. Let's do it this way. The Tower, Queen of Wands, the Magician, Death, Ace of Cups, Fool, King of Cups, Three of Cups, Magician. We started with the Tower. We started with the Tower. The Magician is in the middle. And yes, the Tower, yes, that makes sense as to why I know. That makes sense. It starts with the Tower. You know, the Tower is destruction of old beliefs. It is destruction of old systems that no longer serve. It's complete destruction. It's things being shooken up. So something new could take shape here. And the Fool is here. And I think the Fool in this, based off the Tower, I think the Fool being here is okay this time. Because you're not, with the Republican, they don't, anyway, they can't, it's just not the most, it's not the smartest thing to have the Fool in that sort of energy, you know. But in this case, this is the shutdown and whether or not the government will open in November. I said no. Feels like no, honestly. Before it felt like a couple of weeks, but now it's something has shifted here. But the Tower started with the Tower. And so the Magician, excuse me, is there. The Magician is about power. The Magician sort of wields this. You see the swirling energy here? It's about manifestation, the Magician. It says you have everything you need to get where you need to be. And so we start off with the Tower. I keep going back to the Tower. And the Queen of Wands is next to the Tower. The Queen of Wands is about power, authority as well. Queen of Wands shows up a lot in the Republicans' energy. Because they do, the Queen of Wands, she does what she wants. Okay. But this is different. This story here feels different with the Tower and then the Queen of Wands. Tower needs to fall. You know, old systems, old beliefs, whatever it may be. Queen of Wands also is about taking inspired action. You know, leadership, authority, taking charge. And you have the Magician after the Queen of Wands. This is energy. There's something very powerful is coming from the Tower. You have death. It's all about, do you see what is happening? I hope you guys see what is happening here. From the Tower. Right? You have death after all this power here. And then you have death, which is, you know, transformation, transition, change, but it's also releasing things that no longer serve. The Tower is letting go of things that no longer serve. Okay? And the Magician is there in the middle, working all of this. Perhaps the government is not ready to open. And it's unfortunate because a lot of people are not getting paid. But the Magician is here, so that will work itself out. And from the Tower also comes the Ace of Cups. Okay. this emotional, compassionate energy, intuition, new beginnings. Okay. From the Tower comes the Fool, new beginnings, moving forward, moving forward without fear, moving forward courageously. Okay. And the King of Cups with the Ace of Cups here comes from the Tower. Again, compassion, emotional stability. Okay. And then you have the Three of Cups. And Three of Cups is about celebration, connection. So from the Tower, all of this new energy comes in. So while the government may not open in November, it could change. The energy could shift. It could open in November, but right now it says no. But there's a Tower here. And from the Tower, all of this, and the Magician is doing the main sort of like working the... Sometimes Magician could be manipulation, but I don't see that here in these other cards. So no. Magician is the powerful, the alchemist, sort of mixing all this up for this big change that is coming from all of this. Okay? So I think it's important to hold on to your seats, hold on to your hats, and just know the messages from my guides is that all of this, while it's painful for a lot of people are not getting paid, which is just very unfortunate. It's causing the Tower to fall quicker. Okay? That's all I got. Okay, guys? I think we can end here. Tomorrow, it's Friday. I will upload tomorrow. Next week we will get back to regular. I'll do Q&A next week. But like the video. Let me know what you think down below. I hope you got something out of this. Please like. That's how people see me. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.